Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network, where we're breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before. Imagine tuning into real-time discussions, expert analyses, and fan interactions all at your fingertips. Each platform offers a unique experience, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. We're not just sharing stories, we're creating a community of passionate sports enthusiasts. Join us as we dive deep into the evolution of podcasting, where every episode is a chance to engage, debate, and celebrate the world of sports. This is where your voice matters and the game never stops. Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network, where we're breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before, where sports passion meets podcasting brilliance. I'm Mike, the Bear fan, and alongside Bill, the Packer fan, and our buddy Ken Catalone, we're bringing you an incredible lineup of 38 diverse podcasters. Each one brings their unique flavor to the table, covering everything from game analysis to behind-the-scenes stories. Imagine diving deep into the minds of experts who live and breathe football, sharing insights that you won't find anywhere else.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to WCFL DolFans Talk. Hope everyone's having a wonderful night tonight. It's a beautiful day in Brooksville, Florida. A little overcast, but beautiful weather. 76, 75 degrees out. Can't ask for anything better than that. Let's go ahead and bring on my co-host, Mr. Johnny O.
What's up, Papa Paul? How are you, brother?
I'm above ground and upright. That's all that matters. I'm doing good.
Best place to be.
You know it, brother. Well, it's Victory Monday.
Yes, it is. We did what we were supposed to. We beat up on a bad team. They only had 3 wins, and they looked just as like they only had 3 wins. So we did what we were supposed to. We got a little bit of help. We got a little tiny bit of hopium that we went and beat the Jets on Sunday, and at the exact same time, Kansas City will be playing Denver. Hopefully, Kansas City replays the favor that we gave them a few years ago by beating New England and giving them the number 1 seed. Mm-hmm. But I don't plan on it because KC's probably going to rest a lot of their starters or only play a half. I don't see them resting everybody the entire game because that would be kind of silly because they have the following week off. So if they don't play 2 games in a row and then they come back and they got to play, they're going to be playing a team that obviously won the first weekend of the playoffs. So, you don't want to go out there rusty and have too much time off.
Mm-hmm.
And Kansas City's not known for putting up a lot of points this year. So even if they have a lead at halftime, that doesn't mean a lot, especially if they rest guys in the second half. And, don't know if we'll see Mahomes at all. It depends on his ankle and stuff. So it might be Carson Wentz playing the entire game. So we'll all be rooting for him to have a great game.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will. Jets, we play the Jets at Jet Stadium. I'm a little worried on this game, of course. Even if KC beats Broncos, I mean, it was a tough game for us at our home. Now we're playing in their home.
Well, we're playing at MetLife, and the weather. Let me check real quick. I'm going to turn the camera off and see what the weather says for Sunday.
Yeah, Tom will be on in a minute. He's setting up his Jets details.
Yeah, it's only supposed to be a high of 35 on Sunday, right? Which means come game time, it's going to be starting to get dark, so the temperature will be going down.
Yeah, it was. It was just backwards.
She's saying her score was right. It was just backwards.
I'll tell her I said,
Johnny goes, me.
Well, I'm glad we won, but I still got it right.
No, you didn't get it right. No, I didn't think it. I mean, I knew it wasn't going to be a very high-scoring game. And it wasn't when you come down to it.
No, 20-3. I mean, you got 23 points total. I didn't think our defense would hold them to 3. I said, I believe 12. I thought they would give up 4 field goals, but
I tell you what, Calais was on fire.
yeah, Calais, Brooks, Ramsey. People don't talk a lot about Sealer in this game, but he got double teamed a lot.
Yeah, I
So
saw that.
yeah, he was double teamed a lot. So he was taking up 2 guys most of the time, which was freeing up other guys.
And I think even the commentators were talking about that at one point too.
Yeah. Dalton had a great game. Our safeties, both of them, Holland and Poyer, both. I don't know what the hell they're doing. Jeez. Balls on the ground. Balls on the ground. It might have been a lateral, and you're swiping on it. Dive on it. Damn it! Get the ball. Holland's supposed to be playing for a contract. He's not showing anybody anything.
I agree with that. I don't think we're going to be bringing him back next year.
I don't see it because his agent's going to ask for too much money. But I mean, some dumb team out there is going to give it to him, and it might be somebody like the Jets. But
and there was people talking about Holland as a Pro Bowler and stuff. I'm like, he's not that good.
Pro Bowler for what, this year?
Anytime, I mean.
No, he definitely ain't a Pro Bowler this year. There's no way.
No. They're saying he's calling him an excellent player and stuff. I'm like, not this year.
I don't know what games they're watching, but he's had one great play all year. He's missed quite a few picks. He's missed diving on loose balls. I mean, he is not playing well. Hello, boys. Thank you. Yes. Hello, you two. The 2 pups want to get involved.
Yep, they do. Hi.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, but it is Victory Monday. Today's our positives and negatives. You already stated the negatives was our safeties.
Oh, man. That was really only about, the biggest negative on defense was the safeties. I mean, yeah, they gave up a few yards here and there, but overall the defense played very well. And they should because they're playing a 3-win team.
Yeah.
So you obviously know that, they've only got 3 wins. They don't score a ton, so the defense should play well. Special teams, the only negative was the 1 bad punt. Other than that, special teams played well.
Yeah, I wasn't able to see everything. I couldn't get watch party, the place I didn't know until I got there. What's up, Matt Henry? Good afternoon. Watch party didn't happen. I didn't know until I got there that they were going to be closed from Christmas until New Year's Eve. So it was okay. I was ill prepared myself anyway. We got there and I'm like, I forgot to bring anything for a raffle. Well, I didn't need it. I sure didn't need it. So
yeah, I mean, offensively, I mean, not a lot of negatives. I mean, they played decent, for having the backup quarterback in there. A big negative for me is McDaniel, man. Damn, you're in your 3rd year of coaching, bro. Come on. Number one, he looks sick, and it wasn't the camera because when they would show him, I'm looking at people next to him. I'm like, all right, they look all right. He looked yellow. I hope that he's not fighting some kind of kidney disease or something because he looked bad.
Well, he needs to stop throwing the red flag. Plain and simple.
Both of the times he threw the flag, I said, all right, I don't know who's watching upstairs. It could go. I thought the one was a lateral. I thought it was backwards, but they said no, from where his hand was to where the ball went.
That one I will agree with you with, yes.
Well, I mean, they replayed it. I still thought it was a lateral. I thought it was backwards, but they said no. From where his hand was when he released the ball to where it went forward like a couple of inches, which I thought was garbage. What's up, winners?
What's up, guys? How you guys doing?
The other one, I actually thought both the calls could have been overturned, but without enough clear camera coverage, I don't know who's watching for him upstairs, who's advising him on this, but he needs to fire them and get somebody in there with some better eyeballs or better decision making, because
it comes to that last red flag he threw, I think the game before, where I sent it to winners. I said, what the hell is he throwing a red flag for on it? It was virtually everybody could see that it touched the ground.
yeah, he's what, 4 of 17 or 4 of 18 in his career. I mean,
after yesterday, he became 4 of 19.
Yeah. And there's other times he should throw the flag and doesn't. So I don't know who is advising, who's watching upstairs, who's watching the monitors, but he needs to fire them because they're giving him some horrible advice. I mean, you're less than 30%. Give me a break.
He's less than 25%.
Right.
And I agree with Steve Kramer here. 4th and 1 should have either been Wright or Wilson, not pitch outside to Chan.
Absolutely.
Agreed. Now, we had a power back like Brooks in the back. We shouldn't have to worry about that, but we don't have a power back.
No, he plays for Green Bay and doing very well.
Absolutely.
Yes, we know. This crazy Dolphin and I hated that when we lost him.
Yeah,
agreed.
McDaniel's got to, stop trying to do too much. It's hard being the head coach and the offensive coordinator and listen to the guys upstairs watching the monitor. Just be the damn head coach. Let somebody else call the plays, get the plays in, let them work with the offense. If you're going to stick around for another 2, 3, 4 years, brother, start delegating. But he looks sick. I don't know, what's going on with him. His color in his face was off.
I don't know.
You talking about McDaniel?
Yeah.
Might be stress, bro. We don't know what's going on with a lot of these people in their personal lives as well. All we know about is, the coach and stuff like that. So it might be something going on with them.
Yeah, I mean, I hope it's not a health issue. It sure looks like it's kidney problems or something, but we'll find out if there's anything actually going on when the season ends, whether that's after this weekend or the following weekend or, whenever it might be. But
right.
I mean, positives on the offense. Hill was very involved. They got Jonnu involved early and then didn't get back to him too much.
Derek, you're not backstage yet. You might have to go a little bit farther or something. You might have to hit another button in order to go backstage.
Yeah, because I just checked and there's nobody backstage.
Yeah. What you got? Some positives and negatives on yesterday's game there, winners?
So I watched the game today because I was working yesterday, and I will say this: fucking Huntley played his ass off. Huntley played well. I mean, for the exception of the interception. I mean, I give that man literally a A for his gameplay. He maintained the ball. He moved the ball downfield. He ran the ball. He helped the running game. He managed the game very well. So I will give him an A even with the interception. The O-line did very well for us too. I mean, there was some confusion on a couple plays, and you know what you're going to get with Cleveland. Myles Garrett is no punk. That defense is still good. So I told a lot of people, even though that is a 3-12 team, you don't sit there and take that record for granted. That's still a good defense up there in Cleveland. Where we got lucky was, they were a little bit undisciplined like we were with taking helmets off after interceptions, which that was stupid. It was a great play, but that was fucking stupid. Well, it's an automatic 15 once you take your helmet off. So, and I love the fact that you had Ramsey and those guys coming to him on the sideline like, dude, man, we understand that you're happy that you got the interception, but you cost us 15 yards for no reason. I like that. I heard you guys talking about the safeties, and I agree. We are going to have to work on that secondary on the off season. We really are. Holland, I don't see Holland being here next year. which he could have made a few plays himself. But we did enough to win the game, and that's all that matters to me. And right now, who would have thought of telling me next week is actually killed or be killed? Meaning, you got to beat the Jets, and the Jets got that game circled, and they are ready for us. I don't care what any Dolphin fan want to hear this or not. They are ready for us. They just got their asses kicked last week too. This past week, like 40-14. Do you think that this team ain't going to be fired up to knock our asses out of the playoffs at MetLife on Sunday at 4:25? Trust and believe it's going to be a cold under 20 game. It's going to be one of those cold. I'm going to sit there and keep emphasizing cold games. Is Miami actually going to be able to play in the cold? Because it's a shame that we got to put emphasis on when we or where we play, but it is going to be at that time 30 fucking degrees, and it's going to start getting dark around that time. So are you going to get your nuts out of your fucking throat and actually fucking play football, or are we just going to mail it the fuck in? Because I'm going to be honest with you, as a fucking fan, I'm tired of hearing about we can't play in the cold, and statistics shows that. So don't get my hopes high having 8-8. And if we fuck around and we have an opportunity and we shit the bed and the scenario works out for ourselves, only people that we got to blame is us, not nobody else. Not the Broncos beating the Chiefs. It'd be us. So at the end of the day, the way I look at it is this. What Miami Dolphins team is going to show up? I've been saying this every fucking game. I don't give a fuck. What Miami Dolphins team is going to show up on Sunday? That is going to always be the question. Is it going to be the team that beats up on teams like Cleveland Browns? Or is it going to be a team that's going to sit there and curl up in a ball and say, okay, well, I had enough. I'm good. That's what it's going to really come down to, gentlemen. I mean, that's what I'm looking forward to next week. Overall, this week, we played very well. We did what we had to do, and we put ourselves in position. Now, this is where it played. The playoffs really start tomorrow, next week, next Sunday. The playoffs is Sunday. That's just what it is. The hell starting the next week after that. The playoffs are this Sunday. That's just what it is.
Well, we've been supposedly in playoff mode since we were 2-6, and they have to win every game. And we're 8-8. So it's a couple of those games that got away from us earlier in the year when Tua didn't play, or when he came back and we couldn't hold leads, and he walked off the field with a lead with 2 minutes to go, and the defense couldn't hold up. That's what's coming to bite us in the ass now. Which that's our team.
Mm-hmm.
It's beat up on the bad teams, lose to the good teams, and then split with the teams that are about the same level as us.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and I got a message. Let me give this message out to the side of the Miami Dolphin fans. See, I got a couple more days before my ownership or my co-ownership of being a co-owner of Dolphin Nation 305, and this is the reason why I haven't gone online and said this, and I'm happy that we have this platform. To the Miami Dolphin fans that wanted us to lose yesterday, something's wrong with y'all. To the people that really sat there and said, y'all messed up the draft pick. I see, here's the funniest part. Maybe because I don't comment, don't sit there and think that I can't read. And like the rest of these gentlemen on this panel, we all can read. We see this shit every single day on all different Miami Dolphin groups on Facebook, through Twitter, IG, wherever the fuck it is. Something is really the fuck wrong with y'all. You want our team to lose so we can get a better draft pick. Something is wrong with you. Okay. Now, if we don't beat the Jets, or if we do beat the Jets and we don't make the playoffs next week, that is only our fault. That is just what it is, and that's how it's going to be. But to have your team saying, I hope we lose for a draft pick, is absurd. Absurd. And it's disgusting. We have a chance to make the playoffs. Granted, none of us want to just creep into the playoffs and then get our asses beat. But my whole thing is, I'll be honest with you guys. I really, truly believe if we do get Tua back and we do have them for the Jets this coming week, and we do beat the Jets, and we're lucky enough to have the Chiefs beat the Broncos, and we sneak in and play Buffalo next week, I have a whole lot of confidence going into Buffalo. I do. I don't care what anybody says. because I really believe that them men want Buffalo again. I'll say that straight up. But we have to take care of matters at hands. But you sick motherfuckers, y'all sick. Something fucks wrong with y'all. Y'all are really delusional because you can't have everything. I've been reading comments all along this whole weekend. Y'all want everything. You can't have, oh, I want a first round pick, but I want this, and I want that, but I want them to do this, and I want them to do that. What the no, you can't have everything.
Follow up with that. I've never said I hope we lose, but I will be one to say that I have said I'm ready for us to lose.
Well, there's a difference in that, Papa Paul. You get some of these knuckleheads that are on different platforms, and I hope we lose so we move up to the 13th pick or the 14th or whatever the hell it's going to be. Number one, anybody that watches football knows there's guys out there that are still playing to try to get paid next year. They want a contract next year. They're not walking out on the field and say, okay, run past me, or I'm not going to tackle, or I'm not going to catch the ball. They're playing for their livelihood. They're not walking out there and just laying down and letting the team run past them. That's the dumbest thing in the world.
With you. The reason I said I'm ready to lose when I said it, and it was when we were playing the Jets at home before the game even started or anything. It's just I am used to it. I am used to losing the games that we're not supposed to lose to. I'm used to losing games in this time of the year and stuff. But I am happy that we won. Don't get me wrong. I'm very happy that we won. And in the meantime, I'd like to welcome Shake Money to the panel.
What's up, Shake Money?
What's going on, guys? Hey, listen, I'm gonna have my this Sunday. I'm gonna be wearing my Depends just in case we do shit the bed. But by the way, the Papa Paul, that link you dropped is an old link.
Okay.
Well, that's like you're in Phillies country. I'm in Jets Giants country. You ought to hear the Giants fans going nuts. How the hell can you score like that? You haven't won a game since October 6th. This is ridiculous. You wasted the first pick. We had the number one pick. Now you guys are fourth. What a bunch of bullshit. This is absurd. You can't even tank correctly. You can't play bad correctly. They're going nuts up here. It's amazing.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. I was going home last night, and what's funny about it is about 5 minutes before Papa Paul called me, I walked by some Eagle fans because they played against the Cowboys this weekend. So they like fins down and all that. I said, I hope y'all don't fuck up, because it don't matter what your record is. If you ain't hosting that trophy, all this shit don't mean nothing. And I told them that. I said, don't fuck up. Because listen, I tell everybody, yeah, you beat up on a high school team on Sunday because that's not a fully strength Cowboys team. I always made jokes with my friends here. I said, you guys are playing against Cheney, Gratz, and Lincoln University. And they start laughing because I said, no disrespect to Washington, no disrespect to the Cowboys, no disrespect to the Giants. But the only team that's really at full strength in that division is the Philadelphia Eagles, even without Hurts. So with that being said, and I had to scream at the guys, I said, you guys took our defensive coordinator. Y'all talking shit to me? And the guys had to laugh. So with that being said, I tell anybody, Philly's supposed to do what they're supposed to do. What's up, Derek? How you doing?
What's up, guys? Victory Monday. Finally got this thing to work.
It was partially my fault. I originally put in the wrong link on here.
It's all good. Yeah, it just kept saying it was trying to get me approved to get on here, but it was tough. Now we're in here. I think we're good now. So
what's some positives and negatives you got about yesterday's game there, Derek?
Well, the big win, it helped. Yes, it was above 40 degrees, so the narrative's still going to keep pushing forward for that. I'm just worried about Tua. He's our franchise quarterback. I love him to death, but I was a little upset that he didn't play. But there's a lot of behind the scenes that we're just not seeing. I'm just glad that reports are saying it's not the same hip.
No, it is the same hip, not the same injury.
Well, the same injury. So hopefully it didn't knock that hardware loose or anything, because he's got plates in there, I'm sure. Plates and screws or whatever, I'm sure. Just got me a little nerve-wracking, because if we especially we don't have next year. I mean, that's just I'm a little nervous with that. The negatives, I'm just a little bit. The O-line just didn't perform well as I thought they would be. And then Armstead going out again with the knee. Patrick Paul come in. I think he did okay going against Garrett. I mean, I showed when somebody put on Facebook there, he had like an 8.48, so that looked pretty good. He's just a massive man. The first time he came in, Garrett ran completely over top of him, but I think he learned from that one. But just not fond of Jones, Robert Jones.
Hey,
The guard.
has anybody heard about I was hearing yesterday that apparently Tua slipped in a bathtub or something like that when he was taking a shower. That's where the injury came from.
I haven't heard anything on it, so
Shake, just like the rest of us, we found out about it Saturday afternoon. There was no explanation about it. And I was shocked when I went on my Facebook and saw Adam Schefter reported that Tua was doubtful. And nobody, I always watch the press conferences, majority from Coach McDaniel, all the coaching staff, or whatever players they interview on the Miami Dolphins YouTube channel. And nobody mentioned anything about that. Even Tua has done a couple interviews, press conferences this week. Nothing was brought up. So I don't know if this was something that they were just seeing to see how he was going to feel all week. And they decided, you know what, we might want to sit there and let's sit there and let the cat out of the bag at the last moment. So, we won't have fans being pissed. But, you had a lot of pissed off fans. And at the end of the day, I'm happy that we got the victory, but we need Tua next week against the Jets. There's no question about it. No disrespect.
I do know that there was talk about Huntley doing most of the practice this week.
there's all kinds of stories out there. I heard one story that Huntley took most of the reps. I heard another story that Tua wanted to play all the way up till 2:30 or something, 2:30, and they said, no, you're not playing. If he was healthy enough and he's the starting quarterback that's making $50 million a year, you walk in the office and say, no, goddamn it, I'm playing. I'm the leader of this team.
Absolutely. Right. Absolutely.
So I've said it many times. We don't know what goes on in the building. We're not in these meetings. We don't get to hear this stuff. We don't know. It's just hearsay and hope that, it's not career ending or, anything like that. Because if it is, that means we're starting all over next year and we got $60 million in receivers that we're going to have somebody else throwing the ball to.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, Tom?
Yo, Tom.
What's up, Tom?
Nah, I just booked a telly for this weekend. What's up, everybody?
Sean, man, happy holidays to you, brother. How you?
Another day. Just making it through. How's everybody?
Come on, you worked from home today. It wasn't that bad.
The other shit was a pain in the ass, though.
What's that, setting up the Jets game?
Yeah, I mean, I had tickets, but with it being late, Kara can't go. So then it was like, Jed, are you coming? He's like, oh, I don't know. Flights are bad. I'm like, bro, I found a flight for like $170. Get your fucking ass here. Don't worry about the ticket.
There you go.
I was like, don't worry about the hotel either. You can get me back on that whenever. Like, I got to get a room anyway. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, tickets are cheap. If anybody wants to go, you can go on Ticketmaster and get them real cheap.
Oh, yeah. I definitely wasn't getting value back to that paid, or I know that my aunt paid because she got them for a gift for me. So at this point, it was fucking spread it.
I wish I could, guys. I wish I could.
Trust me, I love you guys, but I'll be watching that in a wrestling pay-per-view at the same time, I guess, because it's Wrestle Dynasty this weekend. So I'll be watching.
Let us know what's going on with the Broncos Chiefs too, since we're gonna be there.
Right.
And the NFL had to schedule both at the same time, didn't they?
They always do that. When it comes down to 2 or 3 teams fighting for 1 or 2 spots, they almost always schedule them at the exact same time so nobody can scoreboard watch or rest players or get guys out because the games are going on at the same time.
Yeah, they have to by like league statute, so that no unfair advantage is played same time, same day.
Hey, by the way, Tom, I want to thank you for coming on because of you, I checked my mailbox and got my Carroll City jersey.
Oh, yeah. Man. It came out good.
Very nice.
What did you say, Kansas City jersey?
Carroll City.
No, Carroll City.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Kansas City. I'm like, what?
Is that where Lamar went? Who went there?
I was getting ready to revoke your Dolphins card.
Just this week, Kansas City fans.
Actually, funny enough, it's the Carol City Chiefs.
Oh my God.
I was gonna say, just this week is a Chiefs fan. We're all Chiefs fans this week. Come on, Carson Wenzelstein, you piece of garbage. Do something for once.
Well, Tom, what's your thought on our two spectacular safeties yesterday?
Number 8, no words. 21, give him a C+ at best. In the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter, he helped to run a little bit. He was getting truck sticked and shit, but at least he was trying. 8, however, alligator armed every tackle he saw.
A positive yesterday. I love the fact they brought in Mostert later because he was the fresher legs, and they let him start. That was beautiful because Mostert was trucking a few people, and I was liking that.
I also like that Eichenberg got the fucking hook because he was on the ground more than he was blocking, and Wynn played most of the second half snaps because Eichenberg was trash per usual.
Yeah,
you could tell the difference. You could definitely tell the difference between when they did the switch. You could tell the difference between how the O-line performed. You can definitely do that. Like I tell anybody, I still give Cleveland credit. They, even though that we beat them 20-3, you still got to give that defense credit over there because I'm gonna tell you something. They did come to play. They didn't. It wasn't like they just laid down. They did come to play, and they made some really good plays on their side of the ball. But we were just stronger.
Yeah,
Keith Lamb. Yeah, we talked about McDaniels and his terrible challenges.
No words.
Yeah,
figure it out, Humpty. Figure it out. Whoever's giving this man advice needs to fucking give up that mic and get someone else the red flag because Jesus.
He's 4 for 19.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, man, whoever's up top there needs to be fired because, man, you have better chances to win the lottery than that. That's rough.
Like especially on back-to-back plays. At that point, it's only 13-3. You're a pick 6 or a turnover away from a one-possession game, and you're giving them life by doing stupid shit like a 5-yard behind line toss on 4th and inches where all you had to do was QB sneak, or Jeff Wilson, 235-pound running back in the game, run him up the middle. He was pissed. Everyone saw his reaction on the bench, head back, eyes rolling, just like, what the fuck?
Well, did you see the referee on when he throws the red flag? The referee was actually giggling, laughing and smiling and going, yeah, this is not going to go your way, buddy.
I mean, the whole telecast said it. It was a whole ego thing. Like, well, you got me once. I'm going to go all in on this one. You got to hope we get this one.
Well,
situational, bro, you just can't do that. That's 3 terrible things in a row you've done. You've now turned the ball over in decent field position, and you gave 2 timeouts to them for nothing.
And it's just like the week before, or 2 weeks ago, when he threw that red flag, and it was terrible. Everyone could see that the ball hit the ground.
Well, that's why I said earlier, and he just said it. Whoever's up top needs to get fired because they're giving him horrible advice.
Another thing that was crazy was I just lost my train of thought. He did the thing that has almost doomed the season. It was the 4th time that he's called a timeout to help the opposing team before half or before end of a quarter, where the last 3 times that it's happened, it's burned us all 3 times.
Yep.
The Bills game, you called a timeout, let him kick a field goal before half. The Cardinals game, you called a timeout, let him kick a field goal before half. The Colts game, and how much did we lose all 3 of those games by? Yeah, stop doing stupid shit, Mike.
I think that's just the inexperience of him being a young head coach. This
is year 3. Back I can see that year 1, bro. Year 3, come on out.
Right.
Year 3 is different.
That's something like different. That's like something Dan Campbell did when he got the intern stuff. Head coach back in the day. Now look how many. But he doesn't seem like he's got the supporting cast there that's helping him. They're like they're almost setting him up to fail. I would think they'd be a little better.
I'd respect it more if he did what Campbell does. Campbell lives and dies by the shield. If it works or not, he's doing it every time. And he's doing it every time. McDaniel's so iffy, wishy-washy, yes, man. If he says one more time in an interview, I'm gonna Jesus, dude. Spit it out. My mom was like, is he slow? What's wrong with it? She's never seen him do an interview ever. The halftime interview, I said, I bet you $5 he says or 3 times or more in 30 seconds. She's like, what's wrong with him? Is he slow?
Try 5, dude. I've heard him say 10 times, 10, right. 15 times in an interview. No bullshit.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know if he just like is being selective with his words. He just can't get it out. His mind's going a mile a minute. But like, just take a breath. Like, you look stupid at most times. Well, I think the guys did a good job. We had 15 penalties, but I think the guys did a good job. They were real disciplined out there. No, the fuck they weren't.
Well,
Yeah,
part
I
of it
think is his number one word for vocabulary for him.
but it's only when he's in front of the media. You remember Hard Knocks? He wasn't doing that when he was talking to the team. He wasn't doing that in team meetings. He only does it when he gets in front of the media. And I honestly think it's an act because he doesn't want to talk. He doesn't want to give away too much. So he stalls and runs things through his head and says, "Well, I can't say that. So let me think of what I'm actually going to say." And in Hard Knocks, when he was in the meeting rooms, he was totally different.
Yeah, he was. Yes, he was.
He was fine.
I think it's his ploy with the media, so he doesn't give away information. He doesn't say too much. He doesn't have to backtrack and retract anything. So he just plays the fool when he gets out there, and he has to do it because he's mandated to do it. So I've said it before. He wastes a lot of time never answering questions.
Yep.
You know what's funny? What's funny is I'm not trying to compare coaches, but I never missed a Brian Flores. He may have been an ogre, but I never missed a press conference because I love the fact when a reporter asks a stupid question, he will call him out on it and say that's a stupid question.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely, and that goes. Listen, there's coaches that have been doing that for years. I mean, what's his face from the Giants? Bill Parcells. Parcells would look right at a guy and go, "Are you a fucking idiot? That's a dumb question, Nick."
Oh man, yo, his shit was classic. I ain't gonna lie to you. Oh man,
Playoffs. Jim Mora.
Jim Mora, yeah.
We are who they thought we were.
They are who they are, and we let them off the hook. I'll never forget that one either.
Dennis Green was great too.
Yeah,
And not for nothing, Miami media asked all right, check this out. I do a show called Smoke Lounge, right? And pretty much I play the other team's press conferences. And one thing I noticed the difference between the other team's press conferences during game week is a lot of the press conferences, hey, what about your opponent? None of the press conferences that the Miami Dolphins do is about the opponent. It's stupid shit that they've asked 30 times over and over again. It's fluff pieces. Yep. They never talk about the coming opponent. They never give any information on what are we doing this week and this and that. It's always these same fluff piece questions and, like you said, the song and dance that they're doing.
These are fun.
Yeah. And I think it's set up that way because McDaniel doesn't give them anything. So they're like, we shouldn't even bother asking nothing because he's not going to give us anything. So let's just get through this so we can get to the GM or the quarterback or the running back, whoever's coming out next. Then we can actually talk some stuff. And even Tua is starting to do it now. He was asked a question. He goes, yeah, I'm not going to answer that.
Right.
It's listen, media is the media. You know they can misconstrue things and they take things out of context. So these guys just don't want to give away anything. They don't want to have to retract or backtrack and say, no, that's not what I said. It's not what I meant. So they just don't say nothing.
Right.
I mean, go back and look at McDaniel. I've said it many times. He spends a whole lot of time talking about nothing. And if you actually listen to the question and then his answer, he does not answer their question. He dances around it.
Mm-hmm.
That looks like a Cleveland jersey. Your mic is off.
Carol City.
Yeah, this is my high school alma mater, so that's why.
Okay.
So actually, more like a Cincinnati Bengal for
okay.
Black and orange, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I guess my high school colors are probably the closest would be the Detroit Lions.
Same. Light blue, navy blue, and white.
Yeah, ours was a darker blue with silver and white. So.
Yeah, mine's is closer to the Commanders because my school colors are burgundy, gold, and white.
Central.
Okay.
Mine would be closest to the Eagles.
Mercy Vocational.
Got you.
What was that, Paul?
Mine would be closest to the Eagles, Kelly green and white.
Was that a one-room schoolroom or?
No, I didn't come from Montana.
You fucked up.
I actually have a friend whose graduating class was only 11.
I'm sure it had slides though, at least little slides with the button.
No, my graduating class was at least 115.
That's not bad. I think I was like 240. It wasn't much for me either.
Sheesh. My graduating class was 70.
Now let's put it this way: my graduating class was 112 actually, but that actually graduated I think was only 95.
Solid.
And yes, I did graduate.
Do we
I
think
knew that was coming next.
Do we think Rodgers starts, or is it
Yes.
Yeah, I think the Jets want revenge after losing the game in overtime to us. So I think he's going to play. Although he played horrendous yesterday. I didn't watch the game, but I happened to catch the score, and I'm like, Buffalo's killing them. I look later, I went, wait, 40-0?
Yeah, he had 2 red zone interceptions, and there was a fumble on like the 12-yard line. It was terrible. I think I had him for over 1 touchdown on the ticket, and that was the only thing I didn't have. Was he sucks.
Yeah, I'm sure he blames everybody else today. You know, it was the offensive line's fault, or the receivers, or the running backs, or God's fault or something. It wasn't his. So,
I mean, he's the one who actually went up to Ulbrich and said, "So Tyler probably put Tyrod in, right?" And then the next play, they had a 68-yard touchdown from Trubisky to make it 40-0. They put Tyrod in. He led 2 TD drives in his first 3 possessions, I think.
And if Rodgers wants to if he wants to come back next year, he's going to have to really have a heck of a game to still show he still got it. And I'm just scared that he might be trying to go all out on us. And we only average about 15 points a game, with Huntley in the offense there. So I'm a little nervous about that, because we always leave it to the very end of the game before,
puts it away.
We can't just put it away when we're up on top. We always find a way to leave the opponent team in the game when we shouldn't.
Well, a lot of that comes down to McDaniel. We've said that over the course of this year. He takes his foot off the gas. Bro, keep your foot on the damn gas. I don't care if you're up 10, 20. Keep scoring. If they're putting 11 guys on the field, keep moving the damn ball. Make them stop you.
I mean,
you're right. One thing that drives me crazy is always on 4th and 1. Let's go from the spread. It's either, even back with the Bills game, we got one time with the fullback up the middle. And then we try to do the same play, like literally the next drive, and they caught it. Or we run outside with a toss. Like, we're so predictable. It's like the same with the screens. They're stacking the box. Like, we've not thrown very many deep passes or anything over 20 yards this year. I don't understand it.
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be 20 yards, but I do agree with you. I say it all the time. This East-West football is not football. The game's played North-South. Throw it 3 yards, 5 yards, 8 yards, 12 yards. Get it in the hands of Hill, Waddle, Mostert, Jonnu Smith, Achan. Get it in their hands and let them do what they do. You don't have to throw it 30 yards. Throw it 5 and let them run. Throw it 8, let them run.
We're too predictable. Like, it's like almost, I've named so many games, and even yesterday, you guys was watching the game or people that were at the game. You heard it scream. I'm like, that's not good when we're that predictable, when you already know, the defense already know what we're about to run. And I'm going to tell you this right now, ladies and gentlemen that are watching. The Jets, all teams have known what our patterns are, and they are going to exploit us and make us look really bad if we cannot move the ball, just like how Johnny just said. North and south, that east and west only works for so long, because what they're going to start doing is, if your blocks are not on, or they're going to start putting some heavy hitters on the outside, when they start doing that and they start doing them heat-seeking missile hits, we're going to have to stop that. We're going to have to start running up the gut, and that's the problem. That's where we miss a running back like Brooks or somebody that's a power back.
If McDaniel would pay attention and he sees that they're yelling screen, man, call a play that looks like a screen and then just have both sides go on a fly and just let them go. They're expecting screen. Turn your shoulders like you're going to throw a screen, flip your shoulders back and throw the damn thing downfield.
Oh, man. And it'd be right there because, I mean, you think about it, you got Tyreek, you got Washington. Washington had a hell of a game yesterday. Definitely salute to that gentleman. And you got Craycraft. You know, it's a shame that we don't have Waddle, but Waddle needs to heal up, and I would rather him sit than try to go out there and try to play injured and sit there and hurt himself even more. So you got Speedsters all over, and Janu has had his best season of his career here.
Mm-hmm.
We're not just talking about as a Miami Dolphin because this is only his first season here as a Miami Dolphin, but we're talking about when he was in Atlanta and here, and he even said it himself. He said, "This is my best season of my career."
He broke all records yesterday.
Well, as of right now, we are 1.5 point favorites.
That shit's gonna just be even. That's gonna be even by Sunday. It's not even gonna be a point. I believe
I believe it opened at 2.5.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, this is what Hard Rock has.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I mean, no, understandable, Paul, understandable. But you already know this game right here, and I think Vegas knows, like we know, this game can go either way on Sunday. What Miami Dolphin team shows up in a frigid MetLife Stadium at 4:25 on a Sunday night? I mean, a Sunday evening. That's going to be the question mark. The season's on the line.
Kansas City is 10-point favorites.
Underdogs. 10-point
Unless they shut down Mahomes. That's the question mark.
10-point underdogs.
No, you're right. They're 10-point underdogs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm afraid to say that if the Broncos got to go to Buffalo, it's going to be like the first round of the college playoff games. They're going to be blowouts. But that Buffalo defense Bo nicks up, and it's going to be a terrible wild card to watch without him. You know, and I think if Tua's there healthy, we lost him by 3 the last time. I honestly think it's super, super hard in the NFL to beat a team 3 times. You know, and that's why I think we could go to Buffalo and give them a run for their money. We just got to get some help.
Yep.
I mean, about the only help we can get is from Mother Nature and making it 65 degrees.
Yeah, right.
That would be nice. Yeah, I have some friends. I have some friends up in Buffalo, and I'm telling you, they do not want to see Miami come up to Buffalo. They were nervous when we almost lost, when they beat us by that field goal with, that terrible pass interference, and Josh Allen got that free flag. But I don't think they want to see us up there. I really don't.
But you know what I like about that, Derek? Because they understand the game. And they understand. Exactly. They take their fandom, they put it to the side, and they actually look at the game and say, "Fuck, they almost had us. If they could have did this or this, it would have been a different game." They knew Tua played his best game that I ever watched him ever play as a Miami Dolphin against that Buffalo Bills team. Like literally, he was lights out. He was lights out. And that's what you're going to see from your quarterback week in and week out. Some games are going to be uglier than others, but to see him go into enemy territory against a team that we know that we needed to beat, and I'm going to tell you something, that wasn't Tua. That wasn't on Tua at all. That man's numbers was through the fucking roof, and his accuracy was on. Nothing away from him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll see. We did it to ourselves. We just got to dig ourselves out. If we have it, we have it. We don't, we don't. At least you see the positives that Jordan Brooks is a stud. Been saying that all year long. Johnny's a stud. Those are your 2 key bring back acquisitions. You obviously need 1 or 2 guards. Trey Smith, that Matt and I have been saying from Kansas City, they're not going to be able to pay him. It would be awesome to grab him. You draft one of the second round. The kid from Georgia's fantastic. You go corner, linebacker, safety, and a backup quarterback. Huntley auditioned yesterday pretty much to see if we're going to sign up the backup, basically. That's all in my opinion.
I mean, it was a good audition, but I'm still not convinced I want him as the backup quarterback unless McDaniel changes the playbook like he did yesterday. He did not run as many screens. He did not play as much east and west.
Yeah, the second half he changed. That's what you and I were talking about. Like the second half, he looked a lot more comfortable because it was catered to his skill set, not Tua. You saw in the first half, those long plays to Hill were fine, but if it's Tua, those are touchdowns. The ball's on Hill's back hip versus hit him in the hands and stride, he's gone. But yeah, the RPO, play action, bootleg is Snoop Huntley's bread and butter. Always has been, always will be.
I'll say this, gentlemen, and I'm just going to say this, even though my handle says season over, but peace, love, fins up. There's a glimpse of hope there's a glimpse of hope where maybe, just maybe, this Miami Dolphins team can sit there and actually catch fire against these New York Jets on Sunday and actually sit there and maybe get into the playoffs and actually cause some noise. There's a glimpse of hope that we can actually be that fucking team that could go in the playoffs and make a lot of noise and disrupt a lot of people's parlays. You know, I would love for it to be us. I really would. I would love to be that team to come back from a 2-6 midseason record to come into the playoffs and sneak into the playoffs and actually go into Buffalo, which that would be the opponent if we sit there and beat the Jets and we can get the Chiefs beating the Broncos this weekend. If we can do that, and like Derek just said, a lot of Buffalo fans clearly know they don't want to see us again. They don't.
It only takes one play for Tyreek or Waddle or Achane to get out there, and it could be over quick. And they know the speed. But hey, what do you guys think about Dotson, the pickup that we got? When they let him go from Seattle,
he played very well yesterday. He had a good game.
The Bills.
I just can't believe that the game before they brought in Duke Riley over him, and then I called it. I said Duke Riley can't cover anybody. I mean, he might be a good special teams, but why did we not put Dotson in there?
Well, Riley did play some yesterday when Dotson came out.
Right.
Yeah, I wonder if Walker will be healthy next week.
I hope he isn't.
I don't mind the three of them playing together, Dodson, Walker, and Brooks at all. Like I kind of like that three. You get a little
but
bit of everything.
Walker's going to start over top of Dotson or whatever, vice versa. They're in the same spot. So Walker's been struggling. Dotson is he's a tackler. If you notice, he's like Brooks. He's a dog. He ain't afraid to tackle.
The same team. They played on the same team last year.
Bob Paul, can you put Keith Lamb's comment back up there? I only about 10% agree with that. My MVP has got to be a Chan for everything he's done, running, catching, blocking. Jonnu has had a great year, but he was missing the first 3-4 games. They really weren't using him, where a Chan has been used the entire season. So I would have to say a Chan.
I mean, either way, both have been the saving grace on a difficult season for sure.
Oh yeah,
they both have been stellar. I mean, McDaniels just didn't use Smith when he needed to, and then Achan's been there since game one. I mean, besides when he had the concussion, but I mean, he's put a lot of workload on for our guys, and for as small as he is, he's been excellent. Yeah, I would say probably Achan as well, and then maybe Smith for sure, top two right there.
Yeah, not to take anything away from Jonnu, he's had a great year.
Yeah, I mean, they're both my favorite players. I love them both. Jonnu, I have on my fantasy league, and he's been outstanding. But Achan has been so versatile, running, catching. I mean,
so one minor tidbit: for as much hate as Chris Greer gets, I think he went 8 for 10 this offseason on pickups. Aaron Brewer's been fantastic. Jonnu Smith, fantastic. Calais Campbell, fantastic. Traded for Dodson, fantastic. Traded for Brooks, fantastic. Poyer, not so much. OBJ, not so much. But that's only $2 million apiece. And then his draft class was pretty friggin' good too, honestly. If he has his healthy edge rushers, this whole team is completely different. If you have a healthy pass rush with this team, and we had like a much better play from our safeties, then this defense, I mean, is top 10, could be top 5. Weaver's done a damn good job with the pieces he's had too. Some games he looks better than others, but it is what it is. Ebbs and flows of the season.
Yeah, we had a spot there about 2 or 3 games where the defense was letting us down, where early in the year they were holding us up, and then lately they've been playing very well. So,
right.
Yeah, I was super excited about the first getting signed in Poyer, but he hadn't even been a quarter of himself like he played in Buffalo. I'm just not sure what's going on with him, and it's because I was super excited for him, but yeah, he's been a big letdown, and Holland too. It's been just terrible. Holland just doesn't want to get hurt, so he gets that big contract.
But nobody's going to pay him because he hasn't played. He hasn't done shit. He's had one great play all year. Who's going to pay for that?
And the only thing you really remember Holland for is last year when he had that 99-yard return touchdown. But that's the only thing. That's the only thing. That's it. That's the only thing. And that was last year. I can't name anything else. You
That
know?
was on Black Friday, and then he missed 5 of the last 6 games because he had double knee issues from that fucking turf on running that 99-yard kick return, 99-yard pick return.
Yep. Yep.
He's had flashes of being okay, and you think he's gonna be like this all-pro guy. He's a ball hawk. Okay, now he's down in the box helping stop the run. We signed Poyer because they wanted to put him back in that ball hawk role and be a center fielder because he's not great at stopping the run because his tackles aren't great. They knew that last year. So this year now it's even worse, knowing that Poyer hasn't come up in the box to help stop the run, and then you have no help whatsoever from Holland. He kind of looks lost out there.
Yeah, it's almost like they've put Poyer in the opposite role. They haven't let him be the ball hawk, and they're trying to put him up in the run. So that's not where his forte is, you know. And they've been putting Holland back there, and Holland hasn't done anything for us.
Anything. Yes, he got the hook a bunch yesterday, honestly. We saw Elijah Campbell back there quite often.
I know one thing that the Dolphins organization needs to do is somehow we got to get Calais Campbell to play another season, or get him to be a coach. Did you guys see there on the sidelines where he's coaching the offensive line and stuff and helping, like just talking to everybody? That is just a true leader. That guy is going to be hard to replace.
Derek, I said it on our one of our shows about, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks ago. They need to get Campbell and the offensive lineman who's hurt, Armstead. They need to sign them to like a couple million a year and have them be player coaches.
Right.
They both work well with the young guys. They both have a lot of knowledge. They can, and having one on offense, one on defense to be able to talk to these guys, and both of them do it all the time. When they pan over there, you see it. Both of them are talking to the younger guys. Hey, this is the mistake you made. This is where your leverage went wrong. You put your arm here. He got past you, or set your feet here, and they're both helping. So if they can get both of them back, listen, if Armstead only plays a handful of games next year and you're paying him $2 million and maybe he plays 6 games, but he's on the coaching, helping the guys, I'm all for it.
Because just for example, like if you look at like Armstead or whatever when he went out, look how he's trained Patrick Paul at the beginning. Look at his handwork and his technique from like week 1 when he's playing. You see him when Armstead went out, and then look here towards the end, like his techniques got so much better. And then like when he got plowed over by Chubb there, the first drive he came in, the second, third drive, he completely looked different. You could tell that Armstead or somebody helped him change it up. You could see a major difference if you go back and look at all the. Slow it down and look at everything.
Top 3 in the league. So I mean, him doing anything versus Myles Garrett, like he looked bad sometimes, but of course, as it should be. A guy coming off the bench, not expecting to play, having to go up against one of the top 3 defensive ends in the league.
But the way he stayed with him one-on-one, the only couple plays that looked bad is when he had the one sack where Huntley went up towards the middle, but Jones didn't even try to help him because he was trying to get the linebacker on the left side, but then he left. Jones just let him go, and Paul's got big enough arms, but you can't stop 2 guys like that at once. But I think we have our left tackle. I really do. I've been fond of him.
Isn't it sad that we've had two players be better developmental coaches than the coaches we've had on the roster?
That's sad.
That's why I want to pay him and bring him back. Like I said, give him each $2 million a year. Let him be player coaches. Listen, you don't have to play the whole season. Play when you're healthy. Help coach when you're not. Develop these guys so that in another year or 2 they all look good.
Right.
He's technically under contract for 1 more year, but his guaranteed money ends this year. It was a 5-year deal in 2020.
Hey, I know it's got nothing to do with the Dolphins, but I got a question for you guys. If Saquon breaks the record, do you count that since it's 17 games and not 16?
Modern day. So, yeah, you count it as a modern day record.
Yeah.
You have to.
I love Eric Dickerson. That's my guy.
I mean, it's going to be great if he does it, but he's still always going to have that asterisk. And, Eric Dickerson did it in 16 weeks, or 16 games. So, I mean, it's kind of tough. What would have Dickerson? Right. What would Dickerson? What would have been his numbers if they played an additional game? Would he have had another 100, 200 yards? We don't know.
Right.
Well,
but
with that being
Dickerson, I lived where he went to high school for a few years.
By Southern Methodist? I'm sorry, Kyle's College.
High school, he was in Sealy, Texas.
He lives in Calabasas, California. I'm pretty tight with him.
Sending stuff out to get signed.
all the time.
I'm sure.
I have like maybe 18 signed minis. He asked me, he's like, when's enough enough? I was like, when they stop making all these fucking styles of helmets. He's like, oh my God. He's like, every sign I go to, there's a new style. He's like, I was like, yeah, that's why every time you get a new one coming in, it's usually that new style. He's like, oh, now I see you. Like, I sent him a picture of the whole thing. He's like, you're crazy. You like the Dolphins, but I'm your favorite non-Dolphin. I'm like, yeah, just like the way we played the game.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. There's been plenty of players in the league I liked. They didn't play for us, but I thought they were great players.
Absolutely. Like, he's really cool too. Like, he's not like snobby. Like, I do signings all the time, and it's 99. He only charges me a donation to his charity. It's like 25.
Well, I mean, that's like going back. If you go back in the day, one of my favorite non-Miami Dolphins player was Ed Too Tall Jones.
He's pretty cool too, actually. He's still living in Texas. I have his address too.
Definitely.
Tom, the question would be, whose address don't you have?
I mean, I have QB1s as well.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's what you do.
Some people are just stupid and forget what they do and kind of just lack the caution of, this whole social media era, like pictures of the menu or the street sign or the runner in front of the hotel or an address. And it's just like, tisk, tisk, thank you.
Now, do you guys think that Richmond Webb got snubbed? I know they had 2 other linemen on there. What's your guys' thoughts on that?
Unfortunately, with the guys that were available this year, I pretty much said that he was not going to make the final cut. There's a couple surprises to me in the top 15 that I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Richmond's not in there, and these knuckleheads are. But unfortunately, with the top names that were there, I did not think he was going to make it in this year. And listen, there's a lot of guys in the NFL that have played that belong in the Hall of Fame and aren't in the Hall of Fame. And Richmond happens to be one of ours. So it sucks. I want to say I blame this more on the Dolphins organization because when he was first eligible, they didn't push hard enough. There wasn't enough there, guys walking in, giving in their spiel, and whether it be a player or coach, somebody getting in their faces and going, this guy belongs in there. And now he's so far removed from his career that the younger generation doesn't even know who the hell he was.
Right.
And where's Marino at when you need him to help push? Not saying he's not pushing, but, we need, I'd like to see it,
I think he's pushed a little more over the last couple of years, but up until then, no, he didn't. And when you get a guy like Bruce Smith that goes in the Hall of Fame and said the toughest opponent he ever played across from was Richmond Webb. Damn, Hall, what more do you need? This is one of the all-time great defensive ends telling you the best player he ever played against in his career was Richmond Webb. All the accolades that Richmond has, all-decade team, 2 first-team All-Pros, 2 second-team All-Pros, 7 or 8 Pro Bowls. I mean, and that's when Pro Bowls meant something.
Right. Yet Tony Baselli gets in first ballot when his numbers are lesser.
Right.
Now, does Richmond have 2 or 3 more years of eligibility?
I believe he only has 2 more, and then he goes on the senior list.
Right, but I think at least at this point that the exposure's out there, you got him to a semifinalist from the grave. He was getting less than 5% of the vote, and now he's in the top 15, say, at this point. So, I mean, the only thing that sucks is that the more years go by, like John said, that he hasn't played, as well as a lot of the guys that I grew up with, my era, are coming on the ballot. Like, you're going to have LaDainian Tomlinson on the ballots, and you're going to, you know what I mean, guys like that whole era, middle era, like Eli Manning's now on the ballot. You're going to have Antonio Gates, like he's on there now. Like, there's going to be more and more pretty damn good players on the ballot.
And Richmond's biggest problem is the era he played in. Yes, they were on TV. Yes, they were Sports Center, but there wasn't 24/7 talk about it like there is now.
So there wasn't much respect for linemen at that point either. Now people see how important it is.
Well, linemen have always been disrespected because there's no numbers that you can jump on. Yeah. You can't say an offensive lineman had so many blocks, or, the only thing you can really say is, did they make All-Pro? How many sacks did they give up? How many pressures did they give up? It's not like a defensive lineman you can look at and go, okay, this guy had 100 sacks over his career. He had, 19 forced fumbles. Well, offensive linemen can't do that. They don't force fumbles. They just protect. So the offensive linemen have always got the short end of the stick when it comes to that.
Right.
Guys, I love y'all, but I'm gonna go eat right now. Y'all take it easy.
No,
And
it's
definitely I'll be
past an
seeing
hour,
y'all
so we'll just call it a
definitely.
day.
Without a doubt.
Take care, my
Peace,
friend.
love,
Peace, love, and fins up,
Love,
all.
fins up, everybody.
Derek, thanks for
More good,
joining
no
us,
matter
brother.
what.
Fins up. Fins up. Thanks for letting me join
Derek,
football. And
join us Wednesday.
Yes.
yeah, I'll try to get on with you guys as long as everything works here. I got off work late, and I'm getting ready to go into the gym and everything. So
Well,
I was like, I got on here. I gotta join this. I've been wanting to do it.
Wednesday's not till 8:00. So
Oh well, then I'm perfect. Then I'll be off that day too. So awesome.
join us Wednesday, brother.
see y'all later. Have a good
All
night,
right.
everyone.
Peace,
All right,
love, and fins
fins
up.
up, gentlemen.
What's up, guys?